Title: Bruce and the Beetle. The garage on Maple Street had seen better days, but Bruce liked it that way, dusty, cluttered, and filled with the familiar scent of grease and oil. Bruce himself was as weathered as his workshop. At 62, his craggy face and permanent scowl had become legendary in the small town of Riverton. He loved machines but had little patience for their quirks, or for that matter, the people who drove them. When the rattling sound of a struggling engine drifted into the shop, Bruce winced. He knew that sound. Everyone did. It was Herbie, the most problematic 1960 VW Beetle in town, and his eccentric owner, Marty. The old Beetle rolled into the shop, its engine coughing like it had just run a marathon. The driver's side door creaked open, and Marty, dressed in his usual tie-dye shirt and sandals, hopped out. "Morning, Bruce," he chirped. "Herbie needs a little TLC." Bruce folded his arms and glared at the Beetle as if it were a living thing. "Herbie doesn't need TLC, Marty. He needs a miracle." Marty grinned. "Oh, come on. He's got character." "Character," Bruce muttered, pulling a rag from his pocket. "That what we're calling barely functional these days." Bruce approached the Beetle with the air of a man approaching a wild animal. The hood popped open as if Herbie had heard him coming. A puff of smoke wafted out, and Bruce waved it away, coughing. "Great. Smells like burnt toast and despair in here," he said, leaning in. "Hey, don't insult him," Marty said, patting Herbie's roof. "He's sensitive." Bruce rolled his eyes and began poking around inside. As he reached for the dipstick, a loud clank came from the engine, followed by a hiss of steam. Startled, Bruce jerked his hand back and banged his head on the hood. "Ow! What in the—" Bruce yelled, rubbing his head. He glared at Herbie. "Did you just spit at me?" Marty bit his lip, clearly trying not to laugh. "Maybe he doesn't like your tone." "Tone? It's a car, Marty!" Bruce snapped. He grabbed a wrench and muttered, "I'm not getting paid enough for this." He reached for the radiator cap, only for it to fly off with a loud pop, narrowly missing his nose. A fountain of coolant sprayed out, soaking Bruce's overalls. Marty let out a snort. "Bruce, I think he's mad at you," Marty said between chuckles. Bruce wiped his face with his sleeve, his scowl deepening. "Mad at me? It's a pile of bolts and bad decisions. What's it going to do next? Bite me?" As if on cue, Herbie's horn let out a sharp beep. Bruce froze, wrench in hand, and stared at the car. Marty's laughter filled the garage. Okay, that was weird," Marty admitted, "but I swear he likes you deep down." "Deep down, huh?" Bruce growled. "Deep down, he's plotting my demise. You brought me a haunted car, Marty." "Not haunted," Marty said with a shrug. "Just spirited." Bruce sighed and crouched down to examine the underside of the Beetle. As he scooted closer, Herbie's passenger door swung open and smacked him on the back. He fell flat on his face, and Marty doubled over in laughter. "That's it!" Bruce bellowed, sitting up and shaking his fist at the car. "I'm done! You hear me, Herbie? Done! Go break down somewhere else!" Herbie's engine sputtered indignantly and died with a final wheeze. The silence in the garage was deafening. Bruce stared at the lifeless Beetle, then at Marty, who was now wiping tears of laughter from his eyes. "You done?" Bruce asked flatly. Yeah, Marty said, catching his breath. "But you've got to admit, Herbie's got spunk." Bruce stood, dripping coolant, grease and fury. He jabbed a finger toward the door. "Marty, get your spunky car out of my shop before I sell it for scrap." Marty sighed and climbed into Herbie, who reluctantly coughed to life. As the Beetle backed out, its horn gave a cheeky toot-toot, almost like a laugh. Bruce shook his head and muttered, "If that car ever learns to walk, I'm moving to a different continent." But as Herbie chugged away, Bruce couldn't help but crack the faintest of smiles. "Spunky little devil," he grumbled before grabbing his tools to clean up the mess. "I'll see you next week." And so the battle between Bruce and Herbie continued, one breakdown at a time.